Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another episode of Deconstructing the Code 3. We are into the puzzle here of the spinny things, the spinny blocks. As we can see, there's no circuitry at all going on here. There's, however, a you take a left and you go to the next thing. You take a right and you fall down to this room, which then eventually just has you go down this way and get teleported. Right when you get on that red line, back to the beginning. So the first turn is the left. You've seen me solve this, but I've done it very haphazardly. So this block here is always powered. And let's see. Oops. I messed up the... I knew that was going to eventually happen. I have a pretty cool mouse that lets me, is programmed to go to Alt Tab when I hit the side of the scroll wheel. And I just did that on accident. And probably shouldn't have it do that, but it's so useful. It is incredibly useful when doing other things. Anyways, where was I? Alright. So this is the room. This block is here. This block is probably always here just to block light, or maybe just as a marker. So no real circuitry here. And then you are given the option of going down to the left again, which is the wrong way, and just ends up putting you back into the teleport. And this is just a fake room. So you go right, so it's left then right, and it brings you to the green room, which I've messed up somehow. You have your marker here. This is supposed to be a redstone lamp, but it somehow got transferred over back, and it's always powered. So the commands that activate these are actually very far away. If we turn right here, we are back in this room and back to another copy of teleporting. Here was the design I liked, and there's nothing to it, no secret, just nice straight lines of these quartz and a redstone lamp. If we take a left here, we are on the purple path, and on the purple path we see here's your marker and the power, kind of in reverse positions that time. And over here we have the, I believe, oh, that is the correct path. So over here on the right is the wrong choice. Was there any point in this puzzle that actually told you that which way to go? I don't think so. I do not think so. I just believe it was a matter of trial and error, as far as I could tell. So we go down to the right path here, and on this, interesting, what is this all about? This is the false room from a previous path, right on top of the next path. He kept it kind of tight. You could probably keep it a lot tighter. If you go look at my series Crypt Crawler, you can see that was some genius architecture as far as just keeping everything really, really tight and next to each other. I mean, when I started deconstructing it, I was jaw-dropping amazed of how he had us go in circles and circles and circles. So if you go left at this junction, it again puts you down this way, which just teleports you back to the beginning. He built a different teleport back to the beginning every time. He could have gotten cheap. He could have just teleported you back as soon as you were right here and saved some space, saved some architectural design. So I guess bonus points for being unique. You go left here, and that puts us right here. And with this in the right position, it will clear out all of these, at least it's supposed to, everything except for the block right in the middle, which was the clay. And then we have over here the purple puzzle. One thing I want to do first is look at this. This summons a new one of these. But I want to see what is written on these papers. Let's see. Items, ID, display, name is just set to nothing. So there's no trick there. It just sets the name to nothing for really no reason. Probably just to be tricky. And then you have this purple puzzle room, which there's nothing special about it. It's just got the standard test here. And then if you take the wrong way on that previous fall, let's see, because you can go here. Remember, this was a wall, so if you go the wrong way, this way, it just takes you down this room, down this hallway, and down this way, and resets you. If you go straight, you hit this, and if you go this way, it takes you down to this room. And that's a whole nother section of the puzzle. Let's get a bearing of where we are. So we've gone through all of this section here. We started here in this room and worked all our way down to somewhere about here. This way, and then through this down this way. And we've got some stuff going on here. Apparently, this is the circuitry, I would bet, to set everything to a quartz block. Interesting. And if you get them all off, it will turn it off to air. So this is the circuitry that would open this final part down here where this was, and at some point I triggered it. So they would want every single one of these to be redstone. So if I got that as redstone and then I had that there, then this would all be air. So that's not terrible circuitry. I don't know if the stair step design is really the most efficient. I mean, he has plenty of space and all, but I think he could have compacted his design if he spent a lot of time on it. A lot of time which he'd probably better suited somewhere else. So you can see it filled right back up because of that. And let's say if I put all these on, so let's see how we could do this. Interesting. Now it's gone. Alright. So, this moves us into this area. Is this really the area? Or not? Is the question. You have this switch. The switch is doing quite a lot. Setting some redstone blocks. Sets a lever in a couple of places. Sets several levers in a couple of places, which is interesting. And then I bet this is the opposite. Sets things to air and sets the levers at different positions. That's pretty cool. So 6 commands to turn it on, 6 commands to turn it off. And let's see. This is an actual piston being activated by a redstone block. First piston of the map. Is this a piston? Yes, it is. So he's just summoning a couple of redstone blocks to activate each one of those. That's nice. I believe that lever next to it is simply being used to power this lantern. So when we go this way, down this path, we are in here and we can see the little bits of green and plants hidden. Here's our number 8, but it's all slanted because this is the 8 I don't believe we're ever supposed to be able to pick up. Let's see. There's all kinds of darkness and plants all around here. It's the same area. It really is. Amazing. So we don't get teleported at that point at all. This is all the future. So when we're in here and this all happens, this is spawners with mine carts in them spinning around, and they have items adjusted to it. These are probably just items being spawned. Yeah, some kind of creature being spawned right there. They look like silver fish. And there's a lot of falling sand stuff, there's a lot of set block stuff, but we didn't go anywhere. This is the same place. It didn't teleport us. The one time I would have thought it teleported us, and it didn't. It just turned lots and lots of blocks. There. So to activate this is this. And to do it has to be this over here. I mean, you don't have this massive amount of commands for nothing. Let's see. See if I can toss an item over there. No, I don't see it. I think the whole sequence has been turned off for the moment. Let's see. I think this is probably where it's going to get reset. Let's turn off this. Where is the beginning of this circuit? Oh, it is turning off ever so slowly on this timer. So there's a massive amount of set blocks commands here. Not horribly huge. This might be violating the 64 command blocks per block, but if it is, I'm not seeing any real long slowdown with it. So let's see. Yep, and when we click that, it starts the whole scenario again. It's flashing the lights, night and day. It summons these mine carts, that it then destroys them, and then it summons things. It's putting leaves on top of leaves because normally they'd be destroyed. So that's a big old animation. And you could certainly go through here and figure out every single bit of it, but it's just a lot of it's sounds, a lot of it's falling sand, a lot of it's just really one big animation. There's not anything special, super special. The most special part is the spawners with the mine carts with the items spinning. The night and day was to get these to go crazy. Nothing else really there. So we're in this section. There's nothing special about this section other than right there it resets you. It's always this way back here. So there was a wall here in the past, quote unquote, and then it just goes away, and once it goes away you can see the section which was actually always there. Back here we have another one of these rotation puzzles, again put in a slightly different array. Just I don't know why, but he chose to do it. Now there certainly is some circuitry for the tree, and we'll have to figure that circuitry out in a second. But there's nothing really special particularly about the tree. Set block wool. Interesting. There's a spawner here and a sticky piston. The sticky piston would stop the spawner if it could be powered, but that's not why it's there. It's there so you can't right click on it, and it has the same appearance as a dispenser. We have this one command right here. Let's see. Ah, here it is. A potion effects of the jump potion, and it seems to have a name on it. How did it get the name on it? Display name underscore. So there's nothing secret about it. It's just there's an 8, there's an underscore, there's an 8, and nothing else. This one sets a piece of wool somewhere, and then this one sets a log somewhere. And I don't see what any of that has to do with any actual circuitry. Getting the tree to be here is its own thing. There's nothing special back here. That'll just teleport you to the usual place. And a piece of wood back here just to keep this leaf from dying, probably, and to keep it closed off. There's nothing over on this side. Notice he really didn't have space to have anything on this side. So he was pretty much limited to either working his way back this way into this, or working his way this way. And so he worked his way this way. Oh, that scared me. So that's a whole nother animation thing that I believe just happened. When we got in here, the whole animation, that's pretty cool, the way it falls. And then we have this area here where we can kill ourselves, and then this area here that's just dark and we couldn't really get into it. And then we fall, continue our way down into the water. And from the water we get into this section here. And there's nothing too special, again, about any of these things, other than the fact that that is very close in height. The Y position is -1. So this is the pretty much top build height right here. And so there is no item selector there. So they must be using a test for command again to make sure. Where is that test for command? I have no idea. Spawn points, set blocks to air, set blocks to stone slabs, stairs, water, set block to water. It's a lot of blocks being set to water. Stone slabs. One of these is activating something over there. We have a little bit of lava here in this pit. What is this? This is weird. Oh, this is just so we could kill ourselves in that other room. And I suppose when you die, he may be triggering it when you die, because you'll go back to your spawn point, and when you're near your spawn point, that would reset it. It seems like a lot of this stuff was installed later. Set block stone, set block air. What's triggering this? like nothing's triggering this. Oh, this piece of paper is triggering it. Oh, so every time I take a piece of paper out, wow, I did not realize that this area here with the lava to kill yourself oh, was, oh, this is the top one. Obviously no circuitry here. The only thing this is really doing is something somewhere. I think we need to go up. Let's see, there's no more circuitry after this. This probably is the success count, set block destroy, success count. So if we have a piece of redstone here, that probably sets a lot of things back. I would think, maybe not. Here we have scoreboard and an item, a hopper with 23 items, and then it's checking so that enough value is going into each one of this so it will turn off all of this, which will set something to air, set something else to air, set something else to air, and set 4 things to air. This is probably the let's see. This is probably the saplings, yes. It's testing for a sapling. And if there's ever 2 saplings, they send out 2 things. And if it sends out 2 things, then it will send out the pulse. Let's see. How could I simulate this? Well, if we do that, that won't work. Nope. If we do this, and we do this, and we do this, nope. Can't simulate it that way either. Well, basically, this will clear the saplings and set it to air. And that it would be in this room here, which is the past version. So this is the only time when you are getting teleported, is that when you come from, I got teleported, darn it, I'm really far away. Where is it? Here it is. Not super far away, but let's go ahead and kill that. So when you come in the present instead of the future, you come down this hallway. If you go back that way, it will teleport you to the one of the starting points again, one of the checkpoints. And if you go this way, you can find the parts here. So at each of that, there's code somewhere here that is spawning the tree. This is the code to make sure there's only one sapling. Somewhere here has to be the code to test for this. Test for the player here, test for the player here, test for the player here. I don't believe that's the code. This all here is the code to the other puzzle that we already saw, the puzzle where you could use the directional pad to move the thing. So where is the code that is testing for a sapling? That's just a teleport command. Let's see. That's just testing for the player. Where is the one that's testing for the sapling? Maybe it's over here. Spawn point, set block, clear items. Here we go. Test for quartz stairs, test for a player. If there's a player and quartz stairs, turn this off. Play sound zombie wood break. Set to air. 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 Falling sand, actually that one. That one's falling sand. Summon. Nobody uses summon anymore. I'm not even sure you're allowed to. So that's like a very small... oh, this is all the code for... this is the code for the floor breaking. So that sets all of that. So we found that that's actually a pretty small amount of command blocks, considering what it does. Let's see if this is it. Test for the sapling here. If the sapling is here, then put a redstone block in several places, and then set some air, probably in the same places, and then summon some of the tree. So of the 4 positions here, it summons the tree in 4 places. So that makes sense. What are these other 4 commands for? Test for air, test for air, test for air, and test for air. And if it finds air, do what? It's powering these blocks here when it tests for air. And by powering those blocks, it goes through the repeater and back here to this and to this, and it comes here and makes a redstone block and a redstone block, then makes some air to cycle something else. So when I drop this here, all of these are finding air. None of these are doing this. So I suspect what we have to do is turn this off by not finding any air. So if we turn that off, and then we would be free to do that. Now that won't make sense because one of these would always activate. So this circuit needs to always be activated. And if this circuit needs to always be activated, that means this circuit needs to always be activated. And then let's see. Let's see if we can trigger a tree to grow. over here we have a tree in one spot. So maybe I just triggered that tree to grow. It got me again. I swear that thing's gonna give me a heart attack. See what happens when we trigger this tree to grow. So now there should be 2 trees. Ah, but there isn't. There's only one. It cleared out the other one and grew that one. That's interesting. So there's a definite system here where when one triggers it turns off the next. And then that cleared out that one and put this one in. So we wouldn't have even been, yeah, you could have just barely squeezed our way in there. And so obviously the next one would be the last one. So there's not enough commands here to be growing this tree as big as it is. It's worth pointing out. This is 3 commands and you cannot possibly be triggering. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's a command block under here. Is that one getting powered? I don't know. Block placed. Block placed, block placed. Block placed. I don't think you can grow a tree that big with that. It has to be triggering one of these. I don't think, maybe, I kind of thought that all of these were in the same. But each one of these might be a tree. Let's see. If we power this, does the tree change? Yes, it does. Let's just double check. However, if we power this, does the tree change? Yes, but not quite perfectly. So apparently there was more than required. So, yeah, wow. I was wrong on my first assumption that these were animations. This is just a tree. Wow. That's a lot of command blocks. Just set blocks to fill in the tree. And you know what's really funny? In 1.84 you wouldn't have to do this at all. This could be done with literally 4 command blocks and a tree built slightly to the side of the map. Because you have a clone command. And you could have 4 command blocks clone that same tree in 4 different places. So look at this, the difference here. You have 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 by, let's say 6, 7, 8, 9, let's say 10. Probably about 100 command blocks for each tree. 100 command blocks being replaced in 1.84 with 4. The reason the clone command exists is in part because of things like this. Although, to be fair, the clone command is mostly exists because there's a plugin called the World Edit that allows you to copy and paste and rotate and clone things. So where are we in this map? Now, this is the whole future thing. Uh, to get out of the future thing, we have to, what? You have to die right here. Uh, and from that point, I think you go back to this point. Uh, hmm. No, that's a reset path. Where is it? I have to say a lot of things are getting deconstructed. This is probably the messiest deconstruction I've done so far. It's just, I kind of feel like I'm branding the phrase deconstructing too. Uh, like I'm trying to make that a whole cool things kids say, but I'm really not. I just don't know how else to say it. Alright, so here's this. Let's get back from here. Alright. So we're back in this room. This hardly a room anymore. Back into the past. And I believe we would find that a lot of it's been reset. A lot of the stuff got reset when we got back in that room. This quote unquote room. Here is our tricky jump puzzle. So if we, here you go, you can see me do it. Woo! It cheated me. It realized I was cheating and it teleported me back, and now I'm out of creative. So there's your proof right there. If you ever need proof, any proof whatsoever. How is this staying up is a good question. Oh, it's just staying up because it hadn't been updated. Okay. So actually it's pretty easy to do floating lava if you just don't update it. Over here we have another twisty puzzle, rotate puzzle in a different, I think I've seen that configuration before. And then up here we have this chest which has a bunch of things in them, and they're just constantly being reset, and so that's why you have to shift click on it. It's because it's just being constantly spawned. Probably with the command right down here would be my guess. Let's see what happens when we turn that off. Yeah, that goes away. And once that stops being constantly reset, you can just right click things as you want them. This whole thing is not through pistons or anything. This says 1 upside down, and then this has that. So this room, there's nothing special about this room. It's just you get in here and you see the code. But to open this room is the trick. It is literally just a lever to open and close this door. So there was a lever, I believe, right here. Or is it on the other side? Oh, nope, it's right there. And this is triggering just a set block command and some other things. Interesting. It's interesting it's doing so much as far as he could have just run redstone under the building to these pistons, but instead he chose to uh, do it the hard way, and it just put some redstone blocks there. Uh, so this is the item YUJRH. But the question is, what is testing for that item? Where's the circuitry that's testing for it? Teleports the player here. Test for a player here. Set the score. Test for falling sand. Summon falling sand. Was this really test for? No, that was summon falling sand. Set block, quartz block. Clear the player's items. Here we go. Here's the set block command that makes the chest. But that's not the set block command. The test for it. And unless it's this one, way up here. Nope, this is the part that just sets the game mode and teleports me if I'm cheating. That doesn't work. Let's see, set block piston extension. Test for a block in the air. Here we go. This is a set block for the dropper. If it's destroyed and clears the player's inventory. This one, random chest close. Let's see. Summon an item. This summons all of those things. And this just teleports the player. So this is the part here that's upside down. So here the chest is upside down, again by a rotated minecart, which is just upside down. When you just click it or destroy it, when you're right here, you click upwards, it destroys it. If we break all these blocks, I think the minecart will fall. Interesting. It won't. I think he may be doing this with slimes again. Here's the switch and the reason why he needs to not just run the switch right to the wires, because there's actually two switches. And there is no secret back room on the back of this one. And over here there's nothing special. Again, no clone block, so if I did it one way on this and a different way over there, it would probably not matchup. Here is a got teleported. Where am I? Come on. I hate when they teleport me. What is this trying to point me back to? I got teleported to the room that I don't want to be near. Let's see, where is it? This is the tree area. And so we should be, I believe, over here. Yep, here we are. And this is the whole upside down, fall through the hole section, which we'll get to later in a moment. Or maybe next episode. Wow, we may end up doing more episodes about deconstructing the code than we will actually about the code. Can't break that. He's got it set some way. So this is the upside down section. And in the upside down section, over on the, let's see, what is this room for? So over here is the walkway that will teleport you to the place where the tree is in the present, where you plant the trees. Notice it's just a teleport. I don't want to get too close to it though. And this is the area we fall from here, which is actually the upside down thing. And so let's look at that just in a moment. I want to know how it was testing for the things over here. There's no redstone blocks up that way. Bunch of set block commands with this part that doesn't, none of that makes any sense. Like that would actually be anything. If I was over here, would it be triggering, it's triggering something down here. Test for block air. If it's air, then set the block to a piston extension. If it's air, then display that and then summon a bunch of paper. And then play the chest close sound. And then teleport the player to a specific place. But none of that is activating the right thing. Set block with the dropper. This sets the dropper. So let's go drop the dropper. Let's destroy the dropper. The dropper is gone. We'll power that. The dropper should be back. It's not. So, let's destroy this dropper. And this dropper is back. And it has everything we need in it. every time we're nearby, it will reset. So it's making sure we have it. But we could also click on this. Left shift to dismount. I was riding the thing. So that can't be the test. This has to be the test down here. Tests clear. Set block, a chest destroyed. Let's see. Block placed. It sets a chest there. Test for block. Here we go. This is it. Finally found it. So when it does that, it summons some falling sand and makes a sound. And with that victory, I am happy to be done with almost everything in this puzzle. And then I'm going to... let's work our way towards the amazing upside down room. And from there... so we have this upside down room. And then this way is actually a facade. It doesn't... well, actually it does. It goes quite far. To right about here where we can get the 8. And then you see this part here, which you can see for quite far. And then, how did you even get here? We found an Easter egg. There's, let's see, something blocking us, I thought. I thought there was something blocking us when we were there. So that's that room. And that's that room. And this is the spinny room. So, from this point, you can see, look up and see that it doesn't go any further. It's not, there's no pistons, there's nothing like that. This is actually just the same trickery that I believe we saw in the code 2, done a little bit nicer. When we get nearby, it starts making sounds. There. And if we were down there, it would be teleporting us. So let's see. Teleported, 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 and teleported. So, the easiest way to look at this will be to just hit these spawners that are activating them. So we no longer will activate the teleporter. We start in this room, and the block is here, and the sign is here. Then we go to this room, where the block has moved 1 to the right, and the sign is there. Notice there's nothing below on that one. There actually is something you can see below on this one. So he only made what you would actually see. You go over here, you see this for a second, and it still looks like the bottom of the room with the lava and the board. But you just see it for a second so you don't realize that the lava is not the right height. And then here you have the lava up here, and the room is slightly higher uh, this time. Piston has moved here, and now you see the lava is upside down and slightly to the side. And here you see the lava is directly above you. And from this point, it teleports you to, where's the room? Right here. No, it doesn't teleport you to right here. Well, actually, yes, it does. So that's 9. What do we see here? 9 upside down. So you start in this room and you work your way that way, I believe, further away. So it spins the other direction. It doesn't really matter one way or the other. At the end of the day, you start in this room on the upside down. But that's not where you start, actually. Sometimes I wonder if I just sound like a babbling fool. And I probably do. Uh, this is where you start. In what used to be a room here. Somewhere. Because this is the room upside down. This is the room right side out. Now that's the room upside down. And that's the room right side up. So this should be the room right here. And this is where you start. Hidden really, really far. You jump down here and you get teleported to, we can confirm this side, and you work your way that way, and when you're done you get teleported to right here. And so that's all that section. That's all this section, and all this section, and all of this section, and this section, and this section, and this section. So let's do a quick flyby before we end this episode. It's been a lot. There's this amazingly long path here. This way. There's all kinds of construction going on. Pretty much draw a line where I'm flying. Everything on the right we haven't seen yet. And everything on the left we have. Did I miss any puzzles? Let me just think about this for a second. I don't believe I have. I believe we've done every single puzzle now up to the final puzzle. And this is all the final puzzle over here, which we'll deal with next time. This has been a ton of command blocks, but it's probably would have been way more spawners and way more things if he had tried to do it this way. This is a very complicated puzzle, probably the most complicated puzzle I've ever seen, before you just hit into levels of, sure, it has a billion command blocks, but it's really just doing the same 5 actions over and over again, like calculators and such. I've seen puzzles, maps like that, and those aren't going to count on my complications. We've got a lot more to look at, and we will look at them next time there's gotta be a lot more because we haven't seen the ending, we haven't seen the map section, we haven't seen any of that. That does, yeah, that makes no sense. Look at this monstrosity. Look at that. We'll have to figure out what that's all about next time. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. We've been through a lot. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me, click on my name Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. If you want to follow or friend me on basically any social media site, there are links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.